Hello and welcome to Skytrack's music special. Today I have come to a studio in the middle of the English countryside for an exclusive interview with Duran Duran. Now of course they've been internationally successful over their 8-year career, but now they're launching with a new sound and a new album which is called Big Thing, and they're doing a world tour to promote that. But first let's remind ourselves of the earlier Duran Duran sound. Welcome to the show, Nick and John, and thank you for taking time out from your rehearsals to speak to us. Now if I can take you back a little way, of course Duran Duran were always synonymous with glamour. Did you set out to enjoy the old pop star lifestyle?
Yeah, well I think that's what where we were coming from. We were coming from the kind of glam rock era of Brian Ferry and David Bowie, and that was kind of how we were attracted into that aspect of the business anyway. I think we always kind of, you know, we used to wear makeup when we played gigs very, very early on. We kind of saw ourselves as a bit of a glam rock band.
What about the lifestyle though? The whole, you know...
Lifestyle, I mean, we spent most of our time... See, I think people have a very bad misconception of Duran Duran from that period of what we were doing. I mean, you know, most of our time, as it is now, is spent actually slaving away in recording studios or touring, playing gigs and moving to different cities every day, when basically what you see is the hotel rooms.
We just chose slightly more exotic cities than most people to record and make videos in. You know?
Yeah. I mean, given the choice, you know, obviously, you'd rather be somewhere that you like.
What about the way you were packaged, your image? On retrospect, do you have any feelings about that?
Never really been packaged. I hate that word. I think, you know, whatever we've done has always been our choice. Sure, you can look back at pictures of yourself when you're 18 years old and say, not so sure about that shirt I was wearing, could have been a nicer colour. But, you know, I don't think things like that are to be taken too seriously.
Moving on the floor now, babe, you're a bird of paradise. Cherry ice cream smile, I suppose it's very nice. With a step to your left and a flick to the right, you catch that mirror way out west. You know you're something special and you look like you're the best. My name is Rio and she dances on the sand, just like that river twisting through a dusty land. And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande. I've seen you on the beach, and I've seen you on TV. To all the billion stars, it means so much to me, like a birthday or a pretty view. But then I'm sure that you know it's just for you. Her name is Rio and she dances on the sand, just like that river twisting through a dusty land. And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande.
Tell me about Arcadia and the power station. Was that period necessary for you to re-emerge as Duran Duran?
I think maybe, as far as the power station is concerned, possibly Andy felt that way. I didn't really. I just fancied the idea of going off and making a record with Chic's rhythm section and having Robert sing on a few songs too. I think Andy kind of got into it and saw it as a way to get out of Duran and make himself more known, you know, which was cool enough. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't really see it as a vehicle to get out of Duran. It was just something to do while he got married, you know, and it just kind of went from there, you know, mushroomed into something far more time-consuming than we'd ever imagined.
But do you think if you hadn't have followed through with those two projects, then Duran Duran would never have re-emerged again like it has now?
Possibly. I think the experiences that we gained from those projects were invaluable to us, really. I mean, both mentally and musically. Just we learned so much from that, from playing away from each other. And then when we came back to work again, when we convinced ourselves that we wanted to work again, it made so much sense.
Simon, can I ask, did you, Nick or John, ever think of quitting like Roger and Andy?
No. I think we've all got over that point. We all know we've reconciled our minds to each other's differences. We're very tolerant to each other's idiosyncrasies. I think, you know, we want the group to succeed so much that our own private kind of attitudes and egos come second to that.
Vengo de la tierra del fuego. Ten cuidado cuando llamas mi nombre.
I could feel the breeze blowing change, blowing through my doorway, warm and restless just as you walk by. Inside of the smoky hole, a circle drawn, voices call. So raise some magic wind in my world. Coincidence each time you look my way. The sinking feeling scares me, though my weakness call it deja vu. Never put my trust in fate. Surprises do arrive so late. Why should I be surprised by you? Straight to the heart, straight from this precious shining. How do you dare step into my flame? One for this precious shining. How can you steal my
The Notorious album. What are your feelings on that in retrospect, given that Nile Rodgers, the producer, certainly put his mark on it?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what we wanted to do at the time. We'd always said we wanted to make like a white funk album, if you like, and I think we got the best people in to help us along with it, being Nile Rodgers and Steve Ferroni on the drums.
It was born out of a lot of confusion as well. I mean, we were at the time we were recording, and then, you know, we'd be having meetings with lawyers, you know, breaking off from studio sessions, trying to sort out what was happening with Andy, what was happening with Roger. It was a very uncertain period, and I think that kind of comes across because half of it works and half of it doesn't quite make it. I think if we'd have just spent longer on the songs, which we were able to do with the new album, and we just kept going over the songs, every aspect of them, the progressions, the lyrics, everything, until we got it right. Notorious, it was just like, quick, let's get the damn thing finished, let's get our pictures on the front, get the name up there, you know. But having said that, I think half of it's successful.
So you think probably you let Niall take the lead because you were having all these...
Well, no, actually, no. I mean, Niall, in a way, would be the first to admit he contributed to the confusion. He was supposed to start with us in May, and Grace Jones' project ran over, and he didn't arrive until late August, did he? By which time we...
songs were written and arranged. I mean, what Niall was great for was that we suddenly didn't have a guitarist.
No.
And he's pretty good at rhythm guitar, Niall. It's a pleasure to have him on the album. I mean, you know, it's a very one-off record, I think.
Yeah.
You know, with
Like
this
most
album.
of us.
With this album, we didn't want to go in the same direction. I mean, it kind of suits us to keep changing all the time.
The Notorious album had certain problems translating to live. Do you think you're going to have the same problem with this album, Big Thing?
I don't think there were, really.
No, I was quite happy with that. I mean, they were actually very simple songs. We've had a lot more problems with this album in that there's so much technology involved with it that, you know, we've really had to get on top of it all and get all the machines working right and all the sounds right. Whereas with Notorious, it was just quite straightforward. I mean, everybody just kind of had their part to play. And
The only problem was that we'd never really done it before. You know, up until that point, Duran Duran had been the same 5 people. So it was the first time we had to go out and teach a drummer the songs, teach a guitarist the songs, bring in a brass section. It was the first time we'd worked like that, like any solo artist would. But that in itself wasn't a problem. It was just the only way we could go.
It's kind of fun, actually, to be able to bring in whatever you need. I mean, now, because there's only 3 of us, we are much more versatile. You know, we have the ability to say, oh, with this album, let's use 2 guitarists or a string section or a brass section or whatever.
When it came to make this one, Big Thing, and we thought, right, for starters, no meetings with anybody. All we're going to do is write the music and record it. Nothing else. No interviews, no meetings with record company, no management questions, nothing. Just the music. And we stuck to that.
As it was in the beginning.
Yeah, and because we cut all those things out of our lives, which actually piled up as we let it go, and we had a massive backlog of stuff to get through when we finished. But it worked, and we got a record made. And I think what's important to notice is that this is a complete record.
What do you think the audience are going to think of this new direction for Duran Duran?
Goodness knows. I mean, obviously we always hope that people, you know, follow where we're going and get into the music. I really don't know. I mean, the album's not out yet, so we were very pleased with how the single's going. I think really you just have to make music to please yourself, though, and which is what we did with this album very much so, and put it out and see what anyone thinks of it.
Rather than doing something that is commercial just for the sake of it.
Rather than trying to contrive something.
Yeah, I think by this point we've kind of gone past the point of playing to the market, really. I think we have to stop with this record. We felt we had to stop and take a breath and just do what we felt was right, you know, because trying to predict where your career's going to go, you know, in terms of the market, you know, and your audience, it's just impossible. Yeah.
Well, as you can hear, we're backstage at the studio now because the lads have had to go off and rehearse. Now, of course, they've got a new album coming out very soon called Big Thing, which is why they're touring to promote it. It's going to be a massive tour.
From the beginning of the last chorus of the reflex.
tour going to be, Simon?
Well, obviously, in this stage of the game, the longer the tour is, the better, because it means you're selling tickets, you're selling records, and people want to see you. We hope it'll go on through March. Through March, yes. Yes, it's a big tour. I mean, we're starting, like I said, we're starting in America for 2 weeks, warm-up shows, small, secret gigs, no more than 5,000 seaters, the largest. No seats, actually. 5,000 standing people. We don't like playing to velvet. Oh yeah, it's awful. And we're actually going to play a car park in Los Angeles and a few interesting things like that. We're going to travel on a bus so that we get the band to really get on each other's nerves and break down all the barriers. it is a particularly interesting tour for us because not only are we doing those shows, we're coming over to do Europe after that up until Christmas. We're playing in, we've actually got a show in Birmingham, the band's hometown, on Christmas Eve. And after Christmas, we will be going to Moscow and Leningrad.
What kind of reception do you expect in Russia?
We obviously want to get there before everybody goes there. It'd be nice to see what it's like. But it's a totally different thing because you're not, unlike when you say play a show in America, you're playing to people who have bought your records. And there's probably fans there. In Russia, there are no fans. There are no fans because the groups just aren't that famous out there. They are fans of Western music, but there's no Duran fans. They certainly don't know the songs. So you're really actually going there purely to entertain and let them know what you're about. It's a slightly different approach to the whole thing.
What's it like for you to be doing songs like that, perhaps 7, 8 years old? How do you keep it fresh?
Fun, actually. We haven't done that one for quite a while. We reworked it on the last tour.
So sometimes you just have to try and, I think, I found with the rhythm section a lot anyway, is that when you might want to just bring it up to date a little bit. I mean, that's the nice thing about dealing with dance-orientated rhythms, is that there's nothing wrong with change. You know, if you go into many nightclubs, hip clubs in England, you'll hear old songs played over new grooves and, you know, kind of revamped and stuff. And I think we've had a fairly open mind to doing that. We've kind of set the whole show up in a very, it's everything is 1988. If we do Girls on Film, it's Girls on Film 1988. We don't feel that the band that we have now is really hot and it's playing a very modern style. There's no point in us going back and playing a song from 1983 exactly like we played it in 1983. We'll revamp it and play it as it would be within within the new style that we've established right now.
Duran Duran have been on Fame's roller coaster now for 8 years. Has that changed your attitude to life?
Well, we don't know what our attitude would have been like had we not been on Fame's roller coaster. I mean, obviously, one's different than one was 8 years ago, but, you know, that's just growing up. That's, you know, it's difficult to say what, you know, what change is because of Fame's roller coaster, and, well, it's just because of getting old, you know.
I always wonder, Simon, what is it that motivates people like you?
I do. I don't know. I wonder too. I really do. Because sometimes I think this is such a burden to carry. I mean, I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me. But it is. It is a tremendous kind of thing. Like, I've got to make this band work, and I really want it to. And I feel not so much a duty, but I just feel impelled to do it because I love it, because I'm proud of the group. The group has taken on an entity all by itself. It's something that belongs to all of us, but it also has its own kind of personality. We always talk about the group in the third person, you know, Duran Duran, as opposed to Simon, Nick and John.
Yeah.
There is a definite outside personality developing now, and I suppose we're kind of married to it.